I'd like to start out by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem Rachak. Welcome to another live lesson. I'd like to start out by saying Barakatah Yahweh is supposed to be in that day. I put in the day by accident. It's supposed to be in that day. Lord's will, I can remember to change it and edit it later. But in that day, and pretty much that was just a title that came to mind. Been meditating on something I heard, I believe it was yesterday. I was listening to the brother Sayanala from the DC camp. He did a reading of the Apocrypha. I believe it's called GMS Sound of Apocrypha. He read the whole entire Apocrypha, and pretty much, I downloaded it, made it into an MP3 format, and pretty much, I have it on my phone. And from time to time, I listen to certain chapters. And I was listening to the book of First Maccabees before I did the lesson, on the history, the what's it called, GMS Biblical History Chronicles, where I went into Helen and Hellenistas, and I was listening to, the book of Maccabees that the brother did, just to get little brush up on the history. And then as he was reading, there was a part in there that he read that really stuck out to me, which I want to pretty much focus in on this lesson. And as you see things happening, certain places are relaxing the so-called quarantine, if you may, or lockdown of the citizens of America and around the world. You're starting to see it getting a little lax. People starting to go back out. You still got to wear your mask when you go to the grocery store. Some places, some states, you don't have to wear a mask, period. That could very well be something that's going to set off an excuse for them to say that the second wave, we opened up too early. And the second wave, we have to crack down and lock down and make sure that people are really quarantining this time. So we're going to send in the military, the National Guard, reserves, whatever the case is, to make sure people are quarantining or locking themselves in. If not, you will be forcefully locked in. And this is pretty much what we believe the scenario is going to head to, because like we've been saying, this is the perfect crisis, because it's a worldwide thing where they could use it to push their marketed beast, which is the microchip, through this digital currency. Now, what you see before you is fair use notice. This video is not intended for any monetary gain. It's only for educational purposes. And the reason why I put this here is because I wanted to play a couple of clips from one from Fox News, the other one from CNBC, I believe it is. And just want to show you, like you brothers already know, I'm pretty sure brothers did videos on it and spoke about it. But I want to play this to let you know that things are going to get hard out here. And although this is a woman's world, because James Brown was wrong. He said this is a man's world. Now this is a woman's world. It's supposed to be a man's world, but this is a woman's world. And this Western society has pushed these women to the point where they have taken the masculine role, which is out of their jurisdiction. And this is why women that try to do that, for the most part, end up breaking down, because a woman is not built like that. A woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to the man. The man is supposed to be the one of strength, the one, to do the heavy lifting, so to speak. you know. But in this society, they teach women that they're independent, that they can do what they want to do. They don't need no man. And this is why the society is catering to women. And that whole spirit is going to change once shit hits the fan. So let me play this clip real quick. I may play the other one right after. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll go into the lesson. This is President Trump. The military is being mobilized to distribute a coronavirus vaccine once it's ready, and he's talking about by the end of the year. Now, we've been speaking about this, kind of, talking about it. I'm not sure if we spoke about it on camera. I know we definitely spoke about it on the way to camp and possibly on the way from camp, about how the second wave could come in sometime in September, October, November, December, to where they were really, because what we're in right now is light martial law, but then they're going to really start putting the teeth down, being that dragon. And what this devil here said, you're going to hear it, pretty much they're going to bring in the military to help to vaccinate people, because there's so many people to vaccinate. But really it's more so to enforce, than to, help. I leave that up to you to decide.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year. We're doing very well with the vaccine. And
by the end of the year, we're doing very well with the vaccine.
I will tell you something. I just literally left a meeting. We're mobilizing our military and other forces, but we're mobilizing
the military and other forces. They're mobilizing the military and other forces. And this is why the National Guard had been mobilized a few months back all throughout the United States. And they're just sitting there waiting for their orders. And other, as he said, other
forces, but we're mobilizing
other forces.
But we're mobilizing our military and other forces, but we're mobilizing our military on the basis that we do have a vaccine. It's a massive job to give this vaccine. Our military is now being mobilized. So at the end of the year, we're going to be able to give it to a lot of people very, very rapidly.
Yep, pretty much enforcing it. So, this is going to bring a lot of hardship, because what we're going to be entering in is something called Jacob's trouble. So before I play that other clip, let me go real quick to Daniel chapter 12. And if you're tired of hearing the same scriptures, then you know what you could do. You could kindly move along to some other video. They got booty shaking videos on YouTube. They got other stuff. They got old basketball games, football games, baseball games. They got other bullshit platforms where people are live. You can go there, and be entertained, because this is not for entertainment. This is serious business. So this is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up. So now why is Yahweh Shai and Michael and the angels going to have to come and intervene? Because it's going to be a serious time that's coming, that's going to really put the screws to this world. It's going to really put the screws to these people, the citizens of the world, so to speak. And it's going to really be very, very, very detrimental. Because for the most part, the majority of people on the earth, especially in America, have been in a careless, lazy, comfortable setting. And that comfort is about to be taken away. And it's going to be very, very uncomfortable. Okay? Because now the way everything is set up, everything is set up for comfort. It is set up for instant this and instant that. The average person, when something just doesn't go right, immediately they start to lose it. Most people start to lose. They don't take a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes or, some time to sit there and try to analyze what the problem is. They instantly lose it. And that's the majority of people. So when this thing goes down, and they locking things down, and people can't move about like they did at one time, and now people are starting to move around a little bit. But when they really lock it down and people can't move around, that's when you're gonna see shit get fired up. You know, and then with the military and other forces coming in, you heard him say other forces, you know, that it's gonna really cement the what I had to use this quote, what Alex Jones said, this is a prison planet. And that's exactly what they're pushing for, a prison planet. You know, and this is what we're heading towards. We're heading towards that time of Jacob's trouble. We're heading towards those perilous times. We're pretty much at the beginning stages of it, but it just really hasn't gotten bad yet. It says, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So this time of trouble is going to be very hard and very harsh. You know? So like, just bear with me for a second. I had got a scripture earlier and I forgot to write it down. And just bear with me 1 second. All right, so things are gonna get bad, man. People are, you know, wanting the things to go back to normal. This is the new normal for right now, but it's gonna be worse than this. You know, it's gonna be way worse than what you could imagine. People are complaining now. How much more when the time comes. So now, before we read this, let me read that again just to set the mood. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble. Salakia. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And the only ones that's going to be preserved from this are the elect. Because 2/3 Esau and the other nations that are left on the soils of America, something's going to get them. Whether it's famine, whether it's, being shot, whether it's, whatever the case is, wild beasts get them because they have to run out in the wilderness. Whatever the case is, they're going to get got. And if they escape all of those things and get ready to go wipe their brow, they're either going to be hit with a laser from the chariots or missiles. So the judgment is, the sentence is set. The judgment is coming. All right, so now let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Now, why is the prophet Ezra saying this? Because the Lord is showing him a blow by blow of what's about to happen. He's given him a glimpse of the future and of the prophecies playing out and of the time of Jacob's trouble and of the times that are coming and of all of the disaster and things that are happening, that the best movie on the planet could not capture all of these things, because this right here is the best movie on the planet ever. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. So we're right now at the beginning stages of sorrows and great mournings. And these times, these women that are popping off, that are talking shit, that think they're men, that have been given that liberty to talk down to men, to get men locked up because of their demonic ways, to stop men from seeing their children because they have a fucking attitude, because a man don't want to be with them no more because the fucking hoe is a fucking hoe and she got a fucking problem and she's a goddamn fucking nuisance and she's a goddamn demon And he gets tired of dealing with her bullshit. Now she's throwing a fit and taking it out on him and the children. Calling the cops on the man when he's doing all the right things that he needs to do to take care of his children, to support them. All of this shit is going to change. And this is the fucking product of feminism. And this is the product of you older black women, so-called black women, you older so-called Latino women, you so-called older Native American Indian women that have fallen for the bullshit and know that the right thing to do, but you keep going on in that same fucking cycle. You keep going on in that same cycle. So the Lord is going to start putting it to you. You're going to learn your place. Oh, you're going to learn your place. Oh, you're going to learn your place. You're going to learn your place. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to wish that you was in order. You're going to wish that you stayed in order. Because you know what? You women out there, you're going to get in order just like that. When this hell start coming down on your ass and them hunger pains start hitting you and your weave is all busted and matted up and you other women can't go get your hair done and your face, that fucking mask that you put on every day, all that goddamn painting that you put on your face to hide all the blemishes on your face, and you try to paint yourself as being this beautiful woman, but your fucking face is all fucked up. All of that's going to be seen because you're not going to be able to put that mask on anymore. And this is going on to them hoes that do that. The sisters that don't got nothing to do, don't worry about that. But you fucking women, man, that are out of order, the Lord is going to get you, man. He going to humble you down. You're going to be put back in your place overnight. Overnight. It ain't going to take 3 weeks, a month. No, overnight. When the shit breaks out, overnight you're going to get in order. Because before I read on here, because now I'm starting to get amped up, man. Because, oh, Lord, glory be to day, man. When that happens, man. Oh, Lord, man, that's going to, just to be able to see these women being so much horror that they're willing to get in order. Oh, Lord, that's going to be beautiful. Be salivating in that day, boy. Because these women need a fucking rude awakening, and they're going to get a rude awakening. Now, the brother was reading this, right? And this happened during a time when Antiochus Epiphanes came and destroyed Jerusalem. And there was a great mourning in Israel. I mean, there was a great devastation. I mean, the shit was bad. Our forefathers had their heads hanging down low. And this is what the Lord brought upon our forefathers for the disobedience, that they did and how they kept the Most High. They didn't take heed to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. This is First Maccabees 1. And I started at 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. Remember, Trump said he's going to come with the military and other forces. See, people think this is a game. People think that these devils are nice. These devils are about to get very nasty. Them horns are coming out, but them horns are going to come all the way out and they're going to start pricking everybody, that are not part of the elect. And even part of the elect is going to get caught up in this for a little bit, but because it's going to be bad, man. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the shewbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels, all he took. And also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. So there was a great massacre that took place in Israel. But this time is going to make that time look like child's play. Because remember, we said a time of trouble such as was never since. So it says, therefore there was a great mourning in Israel. And the Lord is going to bring a great mourning in Israel again. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Because you playing games, man. You women out there are playing games. You women out there are running game on these stupid-ass, simp-ass, suck-ass men. And you stupid, bonehead men out there, you're gonna feel that wrath. Especially you goddamn Captain Saver hoes, man. You effeminate, sweet, moist, muffin, pussy-ass motherfuckers, man. Excuse me, but I gotta tell it like it is, man. There's gonna be a great mourning among you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The Most High is gonna use his sword, which is Esau, to put your monkey ass in order, man. He's gonna cause this devil to whip your ass. And there's gonna be a great whipping among Jake. It's gonna be nasty out here. It's gonna be bad. It says in every place where they were. So all throughout America and all throughout the world, wherever you Jakes are. This is talking about back in Jerusalem, Antiochus Epiphanes. But look at this as an example of what's coming. It says, so that the princes, let me read that again. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were. So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. See, and this is what, when the brother read this, I was like, oh Lord, I had to pause and write this down. Because this is what's going to bring that proud ass look of you women down. This is what's going to get you in order. That's why the name of this lesson is In That Day. And this is what's going to take place in that day. I'll come back, probably, Lord's will, read some of that. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. So why are they going to want to do that? Because women are going to be looking to be protected. They're going to go back to their natural estate. I know Apostle Gabar said he's going to do a lesson on this. I'm not sure if he did it already or if he's in the midst of doing it or he's about to do it. But there was this dude that sits out in the wilderness making coffee and stuff. And he spoke about how masculinity and these cities really don't mix. Because these cities are pretty much set up in a feminine way. Everything in the city caters to women. That's where you go into a store and the majority of the store is women's clothes. The men's clothing is in a little corner. You'd be lucky if you have a choice of 5 different pair of shoes or sneakers to choose from. And maybe a little section, a couple of racks of some bullshit ass clothes that they put out there. But the majority of everything is women. They'll have fucking row after row after row after row of shoes, purses, everything. Men got to choose from probably like 3 different belts they may have there. 5 different kind of shoes. 3 of them are sneakers and 2 of them are shoes. You might be lucky if you have a pair of boots. But the men's section is very limited because this society, especially in the cities, cater to women. And this is why you men are so emasculated. Because, like the guy was saying, women in this setup don't need a man. Only thing you need a man for is what? Some rod, and not even that. You go to the fucking sex store or whatever the hell them shits are called and get you a dildo and you straight. Yeah, it's just the fucking truth. And this is why men are so disrespected in this society, because they're not really needed. But now let's turn it around. Let's say we were in the wilderness, in the forest somewhere. And these women couldn't go get their nails done and their hair done and put that funky ass mask on their face. Called makeup. Let's say they didn't have anything to eat, because you don't have no fridge out there. There ain't no drive-through McDonald's in the forest. Now they're going to look at the man and be like, yo, I better behave if they want to eat. And I know when Elder Apostle Gabar does that video, he's gonna hit a lot of points. You know, hold on 1 second. All right. So let's continue on. Yeah, cause that's gonna be something, man. You know. So I know when the Elder Apostle does that video, it's gonna be magnificent through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem El Shai. And this is why in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. This is Isaiah chapter 32 verse 2. And a man shall be a hiding place from the wind. What is the wind? This destruction, devastation, in whatever form it's coming. Because in this society, the scriptures say that a woman shall compass a man. So these women are highly exalted and elevated. But they don't have the minerals spiritually to be men. And these men don't have it either, because a lot of them were raised by their mothers. And in this society, we're taught to have nothing more than emotions. We're taught not to tap into our manhood, to our masculinity, to be able to solve problems, because that's what a man does. There's a problem. What's the problem? Okay, so now what's the solution? That's it. Women, on the other hand, they act on emotion, because the scriptures say that they're the weaker vessel. But men in this society act on emotion. Why? Because of being brought up in this society. That's why we still have those emotions in us, because we were brought up in a feminine ass society where the woman gets all to say and the men don't get a chance to say nothing. You can't be a man in this society because it's suppressed. But now, being out in the forest, out there in the woods, it's a whole different ball game. You know, and there's going to be a great humbling of these women. These men too, but we're dealing with these women. As we read in the book of First Maccabees, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. You ain't going to be able to put on that mask anymore. People are going to see you for who you really are. You ain't going to be able to put on that facade like you so strong. You're really not that strong, but because you could talk shit and talk loud and act a fool, and people think it's cute. Oh, that's a strong black woman. That's a strong Latino woman. That's a strong Native American Indian woman. No, it's a goddamn facade. Because it's been a fucking role reversal here in America. That's why the majority of men act like women. And the majority of women act like men. Act like butch. And the men act like sweet poly purebred. The change is coming. So it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. Why are 7 women going to take hold of one man? Well, let's go to a chapter before this. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25. It says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So a lot of men are going to be put to death. There's going to be a shortage of men. And there's also going to be a shortage of real men. And that's why the Lord said, let's go real quick before we go back. Isaiah 13 and 12. And I, the Most High, will make a man more precious than fine gold. Why? Because there's not going to be that many men. Meaning that, and the other men that are there, they're too pussified because of this society. But then the Lord's going to have his elect men that are going to be more precious than fine gold. And this is talking about the Israelite man. Even a man in the golden wedge of Ophir. So a man is going to get back his esteem, his prestige. You know, his power, his honor. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of men that's going to be dead in these wars. And these women are going to, it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread. Because in this society, what women do? The majority of these women, they get a man, they have their main man, and then they get a whole bunch of different other simps that buy them different things, pay different bills for them. And they give them sex in return, which is nothing more than adultery and is nothing more than prostitution. Why you call me a prostitute? Because you a goddamn prostitute, bitch. You selling that funky ass box for bills or for clothing or for jewelry. What the fuck you think them hoes do? At least they're honest. Fuck out of here, man. Like you some virtuous bitch, but I gotta call you a virtuous woman and you are nothing but a goddamn prostitute? Fuck out of here, man. It says we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. In other words, they're not going to be looking for anything. They're going to be willing to give and distribute whatever they have to the man, just so that the man can take care of them. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, to take away what? Our shame. Because these women are not going to be able to parade around like they do. And that day, and it's coming. And you've seen what President Trump said. He said that they're going to take the military and other forces to help, which is really to enforce these vaccines. He said towards the end of the year they should have them, which they already got it. So why if they're easing the tension and they're easing the lockdown and they're saying to people, you know, they can start going back out because the numbers are dropping, why are they going to need a vaccine? Why are they going to need the military to come in and vaccinate everybody if the danger, so-called, is gone by? Because they're planning on a second wave. They're planning on some other bullshit behind the scene now. This is stage 2 or act 2 of their movie. We just went through act 1. We're coming to the end of act 1. Now they're about to implement act 2. All right? And now, before we read on, we have this situation here. Hebrew Israelites are under investigation. Psalms 37:22, which the brother out, the head of the North Carolina camp, Aisha Yar, put this up. And this woman mentioned the Hebrew Israelites. And notice they always have the so-called black woman or Israelite woman in the forefront of coming against Jake. Anytime there's something to do with Jake, you better believe that you're going to have that Gardenian pact woman with her lover, with the serpent, you know, plotting against Jake. In many cases. So I'm going to just play a little bit of this.
Including the killing of the people in the kosher supermarket.
I did. You know, they're talking about that so-called Jersey shooting of them so-called Jews that were done by a so-called Hebrew Israelite, but they call them black Hebrew Israelite, you know.
Those individuals were associated themselves with something called the black Hebrew Israelite.
So it's out there. So he's shaking his head and doing his eye like the black Hebrew Israelite, like this is preposterous. No, they know what's going on. So this what they call a movement, which is not a movement, this is our nationality, is under attack. And it's been under attack. And there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, as it says in 2 Ezra 16. And when they really start putting the screws down, that's when these women and these men and these people that have been joking around and scoffing are going to want to get in line. But for a lot of them, it's going to be too late. That's why it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Because there's going to come a time when the Lord is not going to be found. And you're going to call and you're going to call and you're going to call. It doesn't matter if you know the names or not. The Lord ain't going to answer. So now let's go from there back to Isaiah 4:1. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. So now let's go back to Isaiah 32 and let's read this again. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. The man is going to be, the men of the Lord, the Israelite men of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, are going to be as a hiding place from the wind, meaning from all of this stuff that's coming. Whether it's a famine, whether it's a death, whether it's martial law, whether it's concentration camps, whether it's whatever, wild beasts, a man is going to be a hiding place. Because in this society, a man is shit. A man is nothing. A man is nothing worth. They're a worthless piece of shit in this world, in this society. All men are deadbeats. You know, they're all lowlifes. They're all scumbags. It's all about the woman in this society. But that shit's going to change. It says, and a covert from the tempest. So when all of this storm of hell starts coming, the man is going to be the hiding place. He's going to be the covert. He's going to be where women going to want to hide behind them to be protected. As rivers of water in a dry place, because when you're in a dry place in the desert and you have no water, what happens? You're dying of thirst. But then if you see a big river of water, you're going to jump in there and drink that water and refresh yourself. So a man is going to be that great refreshing, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Why is that? Let's go down to the 9th verse. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. In other words, you've been careless. You've been talking your shit. You've been down on the man. The man takes care of his children. You still bring him to court. You still bring him to child support. You still give him hell. You still call the cops when he's trying to take care of his children. He just wants to have a relationship with his children. You won't allow that. You got to pay for that. You women got to pay for that, man. That going back to that Gardenian pact with you and the serpent. You've systematically helped these Edomites separate the families. Separate the father from the children, so that the children cannot have a stable foundation in their life based off of the man's role in the house. You got to pay for that. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled. So the trouble is coming for y'all too. You know, you have these women say, yeah, get them black Hebrew Israelites off the street. They're coming for your ass too. I don't know if they went up there and told you. They're coming for your ass too. It says, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail. Yeah, that little bit of juice you got right now, that's going to fail. You know, that game, them games you be playing on men so that they can give you things and buy you things and pay your bills, that's going to fail. These well-to-do jobs that you've been given by these devils because you blowing them off, blowing their rods and everything, letting them pop you so you can get higher up in these different corporate jobs, that's just going to fail. You don't see what the economy's doing? You don't see how a lot of these different stores are closing down? How everything's being monopolized? And being brought into just a certain amount of corporations that are owned by the international bankers and the flunkies under them? They're phasing shit out. Now what you gonna do? The gathering shall not come. Yeah, because you thought you were set. And that's why a lot of you Jakes, man, a lot of you different tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, that got into these prestigious jobs, and you look down on the rest of Jakes that were still in the ghetto, in the slums, in the barrios, You're going to be fucking ashamed. You're going to be fucking ashamed. You fucking sellouts. You're going to be ashamed. But mainly you women. Tremble. Because you women don't tremble here in this society. You fucking roll your neck and talk shit. Tremble. Yeah, right. But you will. Charad. To tremble. Quake. You're going to be so scared. You're going to be shaking like a leaf. Oh, man, that's going to be beautiful. That's going to be so beautiful. You know, and don't expect no mercy. Oh, no. The way you treated men in this society, the Israelite men in this society, don't expect no mercy. This is the judgment of the Lord coming down. And these men that have been having to suppress their feelings and eat shit, you know, and just have to deal with it, knowing that they want to put their hands on you, but they don't because they know that these devils will come in. Don't expect no mercy, man. Please don't ask for no mercy. You made men eat it and take it. Well, guess what? You're going to have to swallow it down. It says, move about because you're not going to be stable anymore. See, this devil gave you a false sense of stableness or stability. That's just going to be shaken. Be afraid, be startled, be terrified. To be anxiously careful. Why? Because you're not going to be able to move about freely like you did. You're not going to have the goodies like you did before. To go or come trembling. To drive in terror. Destruction, terror, and mayhem. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. You're not going to be able to deck yourself out. And, you know, those of you that do deck yourself out, I mean, this is speaking about the nation of Israel in general, but this is Jeremiah 4:30. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? So when you get robbed and spoiled, what are you going to do? Though thou clothe thyself with crimson, though you have the finest of fabrics and, different, whatever those different, styles that they have today, name brands, Ferragamo, whatever, Gucci or whatever the hell, Jake likes to wear today. Though thou clothe thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, you put that funky ass mask on your face, and people are like, wow, damn, this bitch is bad. Then you spend the night with her, and the next morning you wake up and all that shit is gone. You be like, oh shit, what the fuck? Fake ass, fake titties, fake nails, fake eyelashes, and that motherfucking mask that you put on your face. So, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers shall despise thee, they will seek thy life. And a lot of you women out here, when that time comes, a lot of you going to die with your ass up in the air. A lot of you going to get raped. You women walking around here with them tight ass spandex, fucking ass crack hanging out, the camel toe hanging out, titties hanging out, nipples popping out of them tight ass shit you wearing. You ain't going to be able to do that in that day. They open up these jails and these men that have been sexually starved, that are out there that women look down upon. They're going to be coming for you. Remember, it's going to be lawlessness out here. Then you're going to remember, damn, I should have did. Yeah, You're going to learn. For I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish of her that bringeth forth her first child. The voice of the daughter of Zion that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hand, saying, woe is me now, for my soul is wearied because of murderers. And this is dealing with the nation of Israel in general. But you could apply this because it's speaking as if it's speaking to a woman. And these are things that a woman does. And you women, you're not going to be able to do these things. Why? Because tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled. Ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Why are you going to have to gird sackcloth upon your loins? Because it's going to be a time of mourning. They shall lament for their teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, because they're going to remember how they had it good. And they're going to lose all of that. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon the houses of joy in the joyous cities. You know, and this happened back then in our lands, because the palaces shall be forsaken. So this is going into back then. But these things that is speaking of here, this is coming. This is coming. So rise up, ye women that are at ease. So now let's go from there to 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. Just bear with me 1 second. All right. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. So all these things are coming, and this is what's going to bring about that great humbling. Because remember, it says that these are sent as scourges for amendments. It said, and yet for all this will they not turn from their ways. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. So there's going to be wars out here, class wars. You know, people going to be going against each other. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And then remember when our sanctuary and everything was sacked, and Jerusalem was sieged. You know, a lot of those women, young women among Israel, they got raped, man, because there was no hedge there. There was nobody to protect them. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. See? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. Look what happened down in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina. Jake was, messed up for a while, but guess what? They right back at it. Same old bullshit. Nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, they don't think about that too tough anymore. Why? Because that's in the past. Oh, we got past that. It just made us stronger. Yeah, it made you more wicked when it should have humbled you. Behold, victuals, which is food, shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall what? Evils grow. So evils are going to grow. When it seems that things are shutting down and everything is going back to normal, evils are growing in the background. Because these devils have a plan. They have an agenda. They're not going to stop until they accomplish it. Or until they're put down. Upon earth. And then shall evils grow upon earth. And this is talking about the whole planet. Sword, famine, and great confusion. Why is it going to be great confusion? Because there's going to be lawlessness. People are tired of the government. People are tired of their officials. People are tired of the military, the police, and all the wickedness that they've done, especially here in America. So that's why it says that a man's power shall be in their own hand. They're going to take matters into their own hands. And this is where anarchy is going to come in. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. There's going to be, and you see it, the whole, pretty much you see the food supply chain is breaking down. The food supply chain is breaking down. And I'm pretty sure that these devils, that knowing them, they probably have enough stuff to keep things going until the second wave comes. You see? And the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if you get away from the famine, you're going to be hit by the sword. You're going to be cut down by a machine gun or gun or something, whether it be from a person out there that's desperate, or from a military person, or from other forces, as your man Trump said. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. So there's going to be a lot of dead people in the streets. And there shall be no man to comfort them. Yeah, because no one's going to be able to jump up and say it's going to be okay. You know, we're stronger than this. We're gonna make it through. Don't worry. You know, it ain't gonna be none of that bullshit. They ain't gonna have these Sambo sellout pacifists that come up there and put a band-aid on a deep wound, you know, for you. There's not gonna be any comforting words. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And this is why it's really worse to live in the cities, because they're so densely populated, and there's so much. The people are in such a needy, so used to being needy and needing things, not being able to go out there and get stuff on their own. Everything is brought to them. Everything is handed to them. Everything is given to them. They're dependent on for everything. They can't do anything. There's nothing that they could do to be self-sufficient. It says, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. Why? Because there's going to be a great persecution. You know? It says, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? Yeah, because these farms and stuff that have these fruits coming out of them, you need workers to pluck them. There ain't going to be any workers because shit is going to be fucked up. The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Why? Because there's going to be a great insurrection. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, with which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. So there's going to be people hiding. So what would make these people hide? This great insurrection, this great trouble that's coming, this great time, these perilous times. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Yeah, and there's still going to be people, you know, because there's a lot of people here in America and throughout the world. But dealing with here in America, you got a lot of people. So it would be damn near impossible to grab every individual. But they're going to take people by the loads. You know, so you still have some stragglers around. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. Yeah, because, you know, you need maintenance. And this society is old. The infrastructure is old, so you have to constantly maintain it. If you don't maintain it, what's going to happen? It's going to grow over. Weeds and stuff are going to grow out of it. So pretty much it's not going to be, life is not going to be like it is. Even though the scriptures say that when the Lord comes back, it's going to be as in the days of Noah and as in the days of Lot, they shall be married and given in marriage. But remember, you're going to have these so-called elite that are going to be still having their shit normal. You know? And you're going to have those that are going to give heed to them and take the mark of the beast, take the microchip. So they'll be able to continue life as you know, as normal, so to speak. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom. See, the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Because remember, Trump said that the military is going to help, so-called, administer these vaccines, but other forces also. These devils think they slick, boy. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, see, the whole world, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And that's why Yahweh Shai said, the world shall rejoice and you shall mourn, but your mourning shall be turned into joy. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to that battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth, meaning separate from the rest of these people. You know, but the elect are not going to have to worry about this, you know, because there's going to be a protection and hedge. Remember, the Lord said that the angel of the Lord encampeth around them that fear thee to deliver them, you know, and the Lord said that he give his angels charge over us. So the elect are going to be straight, and if we're part of the elect, we're going to be good. But things are going to get bad, man. Through much tribulation thou shalt enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know, so with that, you know, I'm gonna get ready to roll. You brothers and sisters, just keep on doing what you've been doing. Pray, you know, to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, and just keep doing what you've been doing. And pretty soon, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai is going to deliver us from all this hell. So with that, I pray that you brothers have learned something and been edified. Until the next time I say, Shalom. And the cleft, so there's going to be people hiding. So what would make these people hide? This great insurrection, this great trouble that's coming, this great time, these perilous times. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them.